The creator of Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, is one of the most lovable voices in American comedy because of his ability to make drama out of insignificant details and enrage everyone else in the process. Up next is the top 10 intriguing facts about the ever-genius Larry David. Number 1. When Larry David and Richard Lewis first met as children, they were bitter enemies. Along with being good friends on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David and Richard Lewis first connected at a summer camp when they were both 12 years old. They didn't always get along, much like in their fictitious romance. More than a decade later, the two met again at the bar of New York City's renowned improv comedy club and forged a close connection. Lewis stated, "I hated his guts, to the point where the two used to get into fistfights." Talk about walking to the beat of your own drum, Lewis told The New Yorker of David. "I mean, this guy was born in a snare drum." Number 2. Has a connection to Bernie Sanders. Throughout his hosting stints on Saturday Night Live, Larry David has frequently played Senator Bernie Sanders. They resemble each other remarkably, and this is understandable given that they are connected. The similarities were made much more startling when the two eventually made an appearance on the late-night program together. Number 3. Has an amazing education. It's safe to presume that Larry doesn't have a BA in making people laugh because comedy isn't normally something one can study for in college. His exact degree still surprises me a little. The popular comedian attended the College Park campus of the University of Maryland. It is a small town with a population that just barely above 30,000 inhabitants, according to the 2010 census. Unexpectedly, David has a degree in history. Number 4. A man was released from prison thanks to the series, Curb Your Enthusiasm. By a remarkable coincidence, Curb Your Enthusiasm assisted in a man's release from jail. In spite of his impassioned denials, a guy by the name of Juan Catalan was in fact detained in 2003 on suspicion of killing a little girl. Catalan claimed to have been at a Los Angeles Dodgers game when the murder took place. His alibi was accepted, owing to Curb Your Enthusiasm. By happenstance, David was filming an episode of the show during the game Catalan claimed he attended. As a result, Catalan was cleared thanks to the footage proving Catalan was present. And if that wasn't enough, he sued the police department for wrongful allegation and won $320,000 in 2007. Number 5. Once tried to pay with a coupon on a date but was caught. On a date, David once tried to use a coupon to pay for supper while his date was in the bathroom. The server was telling David that the voucher was invalid when his date came back to the table, which infuriated the date, who in turn infuriated David. "What do you care?" he asked. "I'm still paying for it. And now I'm paying full price." Number 6. George Costanza as him. The characters on Seinfeld were unlike any others on television at the time. They weren't related, they weren't very attractive, and they might even be considered horrible people. When comparing Curb Your Enthusiasm's George Costanza to Larry David, it is easier to see how similar their personalities are. Despite not really having a similar appearance, they both share the same hairstyle. Thankfully, David appears friendlier than the characters he sees on television. Number 7. When performing stand-up, he would leave the stage if he didn't enjoy the audience. Even in the early stages of his career, David, who is renowned for being socially awkward, was known to have a fractious relationship with his stand-up audiences. He once just declared, "Nope," and left the stage after entering and deciding he didn't like the way the audience looked. Number 8. Abhors being outside in the great outdoors. David and nature don't get along very well. He acknowledged in a GQ interview that he despises the beach, biking, hiking, and the sea. The only time he deviates from the outdoor rule? Golf. "This is really the only thing I like to do outside," he said. Number 9. A reserve army soldier. Since serving in the Army Reserve is not the same as being in the military full-time, some people may look down on it, but Larry David says his time in the Army Reserve wasn't an easy one. Some of his other students found the arduous, painful training to be too much for them to stomach. Although it's difficult to imagine him as athletic, he does appear really youthful. Number 10. Among the most successful comedians. According to estimates, Larry is worth around $400 million. Both figures have been mentioned in the past. At one point, it was estimated to be worth $900 million. He is now regarded as one of the greatest comedians of all time as a result. Larry disputes this amount, saying it has never been this high and that after his divorce, his ex-wife received half of it. However, the 71-year-old writer and performer cannot be doing half terrible for himself with syndication and Curb Your Enthusiasm.